My name is Adenike Apeji. I'm popularly called Kuli. I stand here to represent a set of young women and young people in Nigeria. This dream came to pass when I went to do my service year in Niger State, and I met a young lady called Aminat. And every morning, Aminat will knock at my door, and all she wants to sell to me is Kuli. And I was wondering what I should do with that. So I decided to maximize my youth service year. And what did I do? I actually established a vocational school, and I started taking the Kuli off Aminat to make her sit down and learn tailoring. And after a while, I wondered what that could do, and I decided to work on that product. So the piece of Kuli in my hand was inspired by Aminat, and it has empowered over 250 women. That brings me to my presentation today. Next slide, please. So my ask today is $370,000. The first is a long-term debt that you will get your returns on investment on for farm equipment and processing facility to be able to meet up our demands and also cover our export need. The next is a revolving credit line that you can withdraw like your interest rates. It's for working capital and raw material processing. And then we also need grants to develop technology that will enhance all these processes to be seamless. Next slide, please. Now, what's the big problem that the company is facing? We started producing those products, and we discovered that actually the product cannot fit into different stores, like we heard earlier, Walmart stores and all the stores that could push the product as highly nutritious as it is. And what was the issue? It was the issue with raw materials. So we had shortage of raw materials, and we also had the issues of the quality of the raw materials. So we decided to do a backward integration to farmers, and you can see what the processing lines were like. If you zoom up the pictures, sometime later you will see that where the products are produced are not healthy, and that's why many people were rejecting it. And we also see that our farmers are using hoes and cutlasses in this generation, and we know that that will not give us what we need. Next. So what do? This is simple. Our business model, we have a backward integration working with farmers. We have the farm implements work with them, which is also part of their EOP, that's the expense line out. So it is that when the machines work for them, it's also part of the cost of their working, so it pays for itself. And then when we also do that, we support the farmers with technical know-how. They have agronomists that work with them and partner with them to give them the best agronomic practices so that the groundnut comes as it is. And then we also train. Now, when the peanut farmers work, we get processed raw materials. Now, part of what we do with the farmers is to give them access to markets. People like me in our association where we produce peanuts and use peanuts as our raw materials also lack sufficient quality raw materials. It will surprise you that peanuts that we use to produce come from neighboring countries into Nigeria, while we can actually produce ours. So they will buy off from part of what we harvest, and then the rest will go into our processing line. And we also have different products in our processing line, which is what we're actually main focused on. That's the processing line. So the processing line will give you the Kuli snacks, it will give you Kuli oil, and we also have the circularity in it, which we'll be working on. We're actually on the R&D to make the shells of the groundnut into paper bags. Next. So here we already have customers. We're not. The major problem we have is that our demand is more than the supply. What you see here is not a system-generated number. These are companies that gave us LPOs while we started 3 years ago into the backward integration, and we could not service them. A company needs 1,000 tons per week. We can do all that maths because there's no time. So for the raw materials, we have companies who already give us LPOs. Even last week, we got LPO to export to China. and we cannot meet up the demand. So we also have the finished products going into supermarkets, and the most interesting part for me in that distribution channel is the female distributor channel that we have. So we have women who distribute our products. We have women who distribute our products, and it goes into their own value chain of making money. We have women that are widows that have sold our products and have made up to about $5,000 per annum. Next slide, please. Next slide, because I have 1 minute more. I want to take you through this shortly so that you can see what it is. Now, this is my pain story. I call it my pain story because it's what this data is what we have worked on. So one farmer has 3 hectares in these different locations that you are seeing. On this 3 hectares that he has, he needs to be able to process the peanuts into available raw materials for the plumbing. But because he does not have the necessary machineries and tools to work with, he actually suffers a loss of 3.25 tons on each hectare. So you can see the total loss that we come to due to lack of mechanization. But if we scale up this, that is what we're going to have. We're going to have $19,000 returns from export proceeds. So what I would like to end with, let me show you the national loss. Can we go to the last slide? Okay, so let me show you the national loss so that you can dream with me the way we were in 1970. 1960, 1940, when we had the groundnut pyramid, and it was the oil boom that was keeping the whole nation. Now, in that national statistics, we have 5 million peanut farmers, according to records. If each of them have 3 hectares, look at what the nation will be making. So I leave you to that, to dream with me, if we can bring back the groundnut pyramid that can actually feed the nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
What's the average yield per farmer per hectare? And your losses, are they purely mechanical, or are there agronomy losses too?
Okay, so the losses are both mechanization and agronomic practices. So if you look at the back of my shirt, this is the need of every farmer that is farming pre-nut. I take you just to one side. The groundnuts dry, the groundnuts are ready for harvest. And between the harvest time, okay, and the drying process, we lose most of this. Why? Because it takes sun drying. Most of the environment that dry right now is sun drying. And then the sun dry takes about 4 to 6 weeks, depending on what the weather says. That is actually speculations that are not needed. There is a dryer that we have in process already that can actually dry up to 1 ton per day if you keep it at minimal. So if you dry a ton a day, that is actually taking care of what you should do in 6 weeks. So average turnaround time is fine.
All right, per each farmer, right?
Yes.
That is working on a hectare.
Yes.
Right. How many tons per hectare? How many tons per hectare do they get at harvest? Right.
Okay.
So it's up, and let's say a farmer gets, say, 20 tons per harvest and loses, say, like.
Depending on the, okay, so for the seedlings that we have, because we provide the farmers the seedlings,
okay,
on the 6 hectare ton, we are supposed to get a 15-ton returns, right? So for the 3 tons, that's what I show you. If you go back to the slide, right? On the 3 hectare farmer, each farmer has a 3 hectare, he's supposed to get 7 tons. But right now, he comes to about 3.25. That's what you get per returns.
So do you need help in agronomy?
You said what?
Do you need help in agronomy?
No, we are working with IITA, and we have an agronomist that works with the farmers.
So are your farmers in clusters, or they are distributed?
No, they are in clusters.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
My question to you is, what are you doing in the area of a carbon credit? How are you
Of what?
utilizing carbon, getting the credit globally?
Carbon
for
trading,
your,
is that?
I'm excited about your idea for many reasons, but my focus is on the no waste part, where you want to recycle the husk of the groundnuts into paper bags. The question I want to ask is, since you're working with research and a research institute, have you checked people's allergies to, because some people have very serious peanut allergies, which might affect how far those bags can go, but they're a big need, especially when we're focusing on renewables and biodegradable stuff. So is there any research as to the allergy profile of those bags to see how far they can go?
Thank you. The next person.
Thank you so much. My name is Oluwaseun Mabika. I'm representing the Managing Director at Financing and Partnerships Africa. I would really love to work with you to get financing. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you so
excellent.
much.
Thank you. So over to you.
All right, thank you very much. I would like you to run to my slides, to the last slide where you have the national loss by not having. Let's just keep it there for me. The last slide. I would use it to answer one of the questions.
You have 1 minute more.
I would come to you, sir, and take more knowledge. There's no man that is a wealth of knowledge. You have to always collaborate. That's why I'm in this kind of room. And thank you to NDIS. So the carbon credits, I would just mention that we are also making briquettes out of the shells of the groundnut. And that briquette, to tell you, the interesting part of our findings is that the briquettes can go to power the rotary dryer that we have found. So you see that we are reducing energy usage and by using the briquettes to power the rotary dryer. So we're working on the carbon credits. The paper bags one is part of trying to do the circularity work, which we partner with Lagos State government and trying to see how the circularity economy can be empowered. So that takes me to your question, Ma. We're still on research level. Research is one of the greatest key area to help small businesses to push because it takes part of our chunk of finances. So if you have any idea in that area, I'm very welcome and open to it. On the groundnut pyramid, if you look at my shirt very well, that is the dream I'm carrying in my heart, and it will come back to Nigeria. I want somebody to say amen with me. Amen. So on the groundnut pyramid, it will come back. It's our heritage and will come back. Now, on the export level, the last slide, I don't know, my slide, I wanted to show you to emphasize what he was talking about. The target for export is not just for us to export products. You and I agree that if I have to produce 200 million Kuli for Nigerians to eat, we cannot even finish eating it. But the export level is to do two things for me. To restore the image of the national flag of Nigeria. We can export and we can sit in Walmart. It's already been done. Real Fruits have done it. Some other women are doing it. And I will also do it by the grace of God. So we can export to bring foreign exchange into Nigeria. That is my reason of exporting. And when I stood before World Bank to tell them about what I was doing, I won a project to a training in America, and I did a 7-month rigorous training on this product and analysis to make me export ready. One of the statements the World Bank woman said to me, and I will say it here again, she said, "Why are you so concerned about removing aflatoxins from groundnut? Can't you just produce it like that?" I said, "My people do not deserve to eat junks. As much as your people deserve to eat what is best, my people, Nigerians, deserve to eat the best. So I'm producing the best for you because you deserve to eat the best." Let me say to you, 30% protein is in this groundnut. Every child eating this is better than eating biscuits. That is a brain functionality. That is immune boosting. That is more than enough for a child to be in his well state to study hard. So it should not be sold less.
Let's put hands together
Thank
for
you.
Adenike.